So, Andre, how old were you when you started playing football?
I was 7 years old. Played for the Grand Prairie Youth Cowboys. My first year, we went to the playoffs and lost. I can actually remember I was a running back. But it feels so distant ago. So when I'm 29, started playing at 7, so this would be 22 years playing ball. Like I said, it was a blessing. My Pee Wee coach, Coach Broderick, just turned 50 years old this year.
Oh, wow.
So that kind of like threw me off because I can remember when he was young and his son, we lived right across the street. He used to pick me up, take me to practices. My mom, obviously, single mom. She had to go to work, school, all that good stuff. But when I got out of school, I would walk home, get my shoulder pads, go over there to my Pee Wee coach. He would feed me, basically take care of me, adding me into the family. So that first year, I kind of realized what football was more like a family.
So you talk about football, you realize that it was more than just football. It's like a family. So, you had a great coach who took care of you, who looked after you. So what does football mean to you?
Man, football, it's just crazy. Like I said, 22 years in the game, it's brought me brothers. I'm an only child, so I got brothers with different skin color. I think the second part, the skin color, I think that was the biggest thing. Having grown up, my mom grew up in Section 8 housing, so growing up in the hood and then moving to the suburbs and getting thrown into that, white, black, Hispanic, Korean, all different types. It really brought us closer together because at the end of the day, the great football teams have the chemistry, have the closure, have the close-knit. My Pee Wee coach told me that if one of your brothers go use the bathroom, you should be right there using the bathroom with them. If one get in the fight, you should get in the fight. That just brought me, taught me the keys and aspects into life because not having brothers that were blood brothers, those football brothers has helped me, especially later in life. At some point you will get tired of playing this game, and the situations that I came through playing this game, getting cut, from Tampa and going through my depression state. The brothers that was there for me back when I was 5 or 6, 7 or 8 years old, 9, 10, college, middle school, high school, those were the brothers that actually picked me up and were able to take me through. Like I was telling you before, Coach Broderick Farrar, he was like my dad to me. I didn't have that. My dad was in the penitentiary for 12 years of my life. So my mom, disciplinary-wise, she knew that certain things she was going to be limited with because I am a boy. So she trusted those coaches, my middle school coaches, my high school coaches, even now professional coaches to mold me into the man that I am today. And that's what I'm trying to do for my boys. My boys, of course I want them to play football, but if they're not going to play football, what football has taught me and inspired me was to really be there for them. Not only for them, I'm also training kids. It's bringing me to those kids. I got a lot of kids that have single moms. So I'm trying to give back like my coaches were able to give back to me. That's all I'm trying to do. That's what football means to me.
You kind of talk about what was so special, what it means to you is as far as growing up, having those mentors, having those brothers, and now you have the opportunity to work with these young kids, young athletes. Mm-hmm. So what does that mean to you, though? Because you kind of know what it's like. A lot of them can relate to what you went through at that age. So for you to be able to mentor them and to make an impact in their lives, what does that mean to you, and how special is that to you?
Man, first and foremost, I got to give all the glory to God, just to be able to give back to my community, to the kids. Football is acceptance. When I went to graduated from Hardin Simmons University, played ball there 4 years, All-American. But the main thing that I learned from that program, from Coach Burleson, was coaches have to believe in players and players have to believe in coaches. Yeah. So to build that trust, that's one of my main goals was to try to build the trust with those kids. Once I was able to build the trust with those kids and attack the personal lives, that's how I was able to get the bond. It's easy for me to relate to them because I can go to them and tell them, hey, I've been in your shoes. Like, seriously, I know what you're going through, 13, 14-year-old boys you go through, I know what you're going through in the classroom. I know what you're going through outside the classroom, the influences, the pressure, realizing when I was 13, you're like, I got 5 years till I go to college. Mm-hmm. And then before you know it, you're starting your first game on varsity. And before you know it, it's your junior year on varsity. And then next thing you know, you're like, dang, I just played my last year of high school football. Now I'm about to transition to another phase. Like I said, it's just a blessing that God's given me the ability to be able to communicate with these kids. Not everybody has the right state of mind to communicate with those kids, but not only communicate, be able to push them on the field. What I try to teach in my football camps is mental toughness. Football is 80% mental, 20% physical. The 80% mental aspect is, can you fight when you're tired? Can you fight when can you do the little things when nobody's watching?
That's good.
When you're bench pressing and you have 2 more sets, are you going to rack that bench or are you going to try to rep it out? You know what I'm saying? That's what my Pee Wee coaches taught me at an early age, and it carried over. So that's all I'm trying to do and teach with them. So like I said, it's just a blessing to be able to give back. And if anybody see these videos, want to send them kids, y'all can send them my way.
Okay, Andre, so you're coming in on your 8th year of playing professional football. You've had the chance to play for a few teams. You played for the Amarillo Venom in the past. Now you're back. It's a different season, but with the same goal. And of course, you want to win the championship. This year's a little different. The quarterback, Nate Davis, with him being gone, bringing in a new QB, the system's changing up. You got a new team, a young team. So what's going to need to be done on your part, to mentor these guys? I mean, because you've been in the league for 8 years. So to mentor these guys, and what do you feel like you need to do on your part to help this team be successful?
Well, first and foremost, got to be a leader. Like I said, this is my 8th year playing professionally. We have maybe one older vet, Ray Johnson, aka Flash. He was been there since the 2010s, won the championships in 2012, 2013. I actually played against him when I was in Laredo my rookie year in the championship game. That's part of the reason why I came to Amarillo. That championship game was crazy. It was 5,000 people there. It's only 4,000 that could sit at the Civic Center, so it was standing room. And we lost on the last second play to Ray, who actually scored, I believe. But then next year, my coach from college, Coach Burleson, him and Toby Tucker, best friends in high school. Coach Burleson was in Mr. Tucker's wedding, so they was able to connect, was able to hit me up, and moved here in 2014, and that actually really got my professional career started. I was primarily a defensive tackle. When I got here, Coach Reese said, you're gonna have to run the ball a little bit, and that's how I got the nickname Wrecking Ball, running guys over and whatnot. It stuck with me, but it wasn't for Coach Reese. It wasn't for the city. 2014, 2015, the first 2 years I played, really got me going professionally. Like I said, was able to move up to the highs of the highs in the AFL. Was there for 2 years. Obviously, I couldn't take success too good. Got cut for the first time. Got released. That's when I really got introduced to the business. It really wasn't no talking like how Coach Reese really talks to you, really build the relationships. I really got the business aspects like the NFL. It's either you produce on the field or you go home. After I got released, kind of went 2-3 years. I kind of went to not great football years. Bounced from team to team, and ended up last year playing through Texas Revolution for about half a year. We folded midway, and by God's grace, everything worked out to where I was able to come back to Amarillo, and we fell up short, as you know, last year in the championship game, and that still eats me to this day. We're up 16 going into halftime. We lose by a point. That still, like I said, still eats at me today. So my main goal, my thing for what we got going on the whole team is Redemption 2020. Obviously, there's a lot of things going around right now that's kind of holding our football season hostage right now, but 2020 is all about redeeming what we lost last year. Yes, we have a new team, new quarterback, new situation, but at the end of the day, it's football. Arena football is simple. Move the ball, try to stop and try to score. But with Coach Reese, it really doesn't matter because he has a great system in play. We are going to miss Nate. Nate's a great teammate, great brother. He's an MVP NFL quarterback. But at the end of the day, Bridges is a business. He decided to go somewhere else, so David Perkins has been coming in and he's been leading the team, and that's what the quarterback needs to do. He's only 22, but to lead a group of guys, they got to know in that huddle that you're gonna go out there and fight for them. So my goal this year, really, besides winning the championship, is growing as a leader, getting these young guys on the board, getting these young guys to get the weak mentality out, the softness. I feel like the last couple of years we kind of been soft here in Amarillo. 2013, 2014, 2012, those teams that won the championships, Coach Reese really had those teams really motivated. At this, arena football, you're not making that much money in this. So you're doing this because you really love it. And those guys that play, like Darius Battles, Dante Bright, Ray Johnson, you got Jay Will, you got our coach, one of our coaches, Coach Ken Barnes. Those guys were dogs, and that's the mentality that I'm trying to get back with the Venom this year. It's that dog mentality. If we get that dog mentality, we're going to be celebrating hopefully in July if we get the season back rolling.
So you mentioned last year coming up short in the playoffs. So you're up 16 going into the half. You guys come out, fall short, and lose the championship. So I know that you said that that's really been on your mind a lot. So coming into the season, you even said you have the redemption mentality. So with a new team, new quarterback, a fresh young team, what is the next step that needs to be taken to really, y'all want to win? I mean, y'all are hungry. Amarillo's ready for another championship. I know the Venom. I know the guys are ready for it. So what's the next step?
Man, the next step is to get mentally tough. I kind of feel like last year in that playoff game when you have those mental breakdowns where it's, 1st and 10 and you have a false start, now you 1st and 15. Or if it's 2nd and 1, it's 2nd and 6. Or if you have a team 3rd and 15, you get a pass interference. Or if it's 4th and 15 and you give up a 30-yard bomb, mentally breakdowns. Coach Reese, we had traditionally he doesn't have conditioning tests, but this year we had a conditioning test. So a lot of the guys came in shape. A lot of guys didn't come in shape. So right away, you kind of know the guys that were ready for this moment. Yeah. Like I was telling the D-line, the O-line, we have a saying, LOS, line of scrimmage. It starts up front. I'm a believer in the big dogs. Big dogs don't get that much love like the skill guys, like the running backs and stuff. I get a little bit more love because I do play goal line situations at fullback, and I have a tendency to make the crowd cheer for me or whatnot. But that's just my personality. That's what I like to do. But on a serious note, the line of scrimmage dominates the game. If you have an O-line and a D-line, your team is going to be successful. And last year, I kind of felt like the O-line, we didn't do what we needed to do in those critical moments. I could tell you a play right now. We down 1 after we just scored going for an extra point. Jacob Felton, Special Teams Player of the Year, never misses the extra point, never misses anything. We give up a guy that comes right off the edge, and just a little bit, he didn't block it, but just a little bit to deflect it, was able to change the trajectory on the extra point. And instead of being tied up, now you're down 1. Yeah. So now you're forced to kick an onside kick. They get the ball, they go score, and that's the end of the game right there.
Okay, so you talk about those critical moments. So, all throughout the whole season, you can have some players playing lights out, and then when it gets to playoffs where it's really counts and it's important, those critical moments. What's something that you're going to be telling your teammates to the season? Because it doesn't just start in playoffs. Mm-hmm. I mean, the first game, you want to treat it just like playoffs. Yes, so you want to start from the beginning of the season, really fixing those little mistakes. Of course, you're gonna make mistakes, but how do you bounce back, and how do you keep that mentality to keep pushing, to keep driving? Because we have big goals on our mind, and it's to win a championship. So what is something you're going to be preaching to your teammates this season? Because it starts from the very beginning of the season. Instead of waiting till playoffs, what's something you're going to be telling them?
It's like a thing my coach in college used to say: start right, you stay right, and you got to finish right. You got to start the season off right. You got to start the game off right. Just like in life, you're going to have stuff that starts your day can start off great, but then at some point something's going to try to knock you down. Yeah. And it's about overcoming that adversity when something hits you. Are you going to whine? Are you going to complain? Are you going to try to point fingers? Or are you going to be the responsible person to say, hey, I messed up, I got you? Yeah. And we didn't have enough guys last year to own up to the responsibilities. Yeah. When we were down or winning, everything's going good. But once that first thing happens, we kind of all nitpick at each other, And that's not a successful team. That's not how you're going to be successful in life, and that's how you're not going to have a successful team. But on the other side, with this team this year, I kind of feel like we're kind of getting that bonding and that chemistry down to where, hey, our goal every week is 1-0. Yeah. We're supposed to have a game March 21st against Solana this Saturday. 1-0 was the goal. Then next week, 1-0. Then next week, 1-0. Mm-hmm. Then next week, 1-0. And then ultimately, if you get to the end of July and you're 1-0, then you're in the championship game. So taking it week by week, day by day, play by play.
Most definitely. Living in the moment.
Yep.
So, I want to talk about Coach Reese.
Okay.
And the impact that he's had on you as a player and as a person. Knowing Coach Reese, since I was a kid, I've known that he's made a big impact in my life, and I've always looked up to him as a mentor. But as someone who plays for him as a teammate, and just as a player on that team, how has he impacted your life, and not just as a football player, but as a person?
As a football player, he challenges me. He kind of holds me as accountable. I'm one of those guys that, if he needs me to go do anything, pick up a player from the airport, go to a school to read a book, go, lead teammates, lead stretches, he can count on me to do that things. And that's what he tries to teach us as men. We grown men, you shouldn't have somebody to motivate you.
Yeah.
If you're still playing football at this point, you shouldn't need nobody to motivate you.
Yeah.
So he kind of have his selective captains or captains without captains, because at the end of the day, you don't have to have a captain. Everybody is a captain. As a man, like I came in, I was 22, 23, and just had my oldest son. And then when Jeremiah was born, Jeremiah got sick, and his backstory, had to go to Cook's Medical Center. Was there for about a couple of months. But Coach Reese held it down for me. When I came back, I didn't have to pay no rent. I didn't have to pay my light bills. I didn't have to pay nothing. Coach Reese and the community and the city was able to take care of me with that. That showed me a lot. And just looking at how he raised his kids, he got 2 sons, Deuce and Trey. And they are really, really good boys, really athletic boys too. But he's competitive in everything that he does. He's competitive in raising his kids. He's competitive in his marriage. He's competitive with his daughter and his relationship. So that's how I try to carry myself. You don't want to be like somebody, but you want to model yourself. And Coach Reese is definitely what you want to model yourself after.
That's awesome. So we talk about football, what it's meant to you. But now I want to get into your family. You consider yourself blessed with the family you have.
For sure.
Your beautiful kids.
For sure.
And so, just talk about your family. How have they really impacted your life as well?
Man, the boys changed me, man. 21, you get somebody pregnant, you definitely take everything for granted. And I still have some other things that I want to do with my life, but, like my mom said, you make it, you got to take care of it. And Dre definitely is, it's not easy. It's hard some days, but I love every minute of it. Jeremiah is a blessing from God. Jeremiah itself from the Bible, one of my favorite Bible verses. Jeremiah 1:5, before I formed thee in the belly, I knew thee. I sanctified thee a prophet unto the nations. My son was born 9 pounds 5 ounces in a week. He was 5 pounds 4 ounces. That's not normal, losing 4 pounds. So it lets me know that he's a fighter. And in those 3 months, he's fighting me. Got new family now. Got Misty and I got Sienna. Sienna's gonna be just like a daughter for me. She's not my blood, but like I said with Coach Reese, Angel isn't his blood daughter, but you grow to love her like your own. Misty, hopefully one day if she says yes, she'll be my wife. And I was married before, and I didn't do everything the right way. You make those mistakes and you learn from mistakes. So that way, when I do marry Misty, I've learned from when I was younger those mistakes, and hopefully that the end goal will be better than the end result will be better than what it was last time.
Well, that's awesome. You have, when you're playing football, you have your coaches and your teammates to really keep you on the right path. But off the field, you still, at the end of the day, you're still a family man, and you still got your family, and you got your family to keep you on the right path. For sure. To make you a better man. For sure. And I'm sure that they support you in football too. I know that they're excited to see you get back out there on the field. But Andre, I appreciate you, sitting down with me, letting us, letting the fans get to know you a little more, a little better. We're ready. Amarillo's ready for the season to start. I feel another championship's on the way, and I'm sure you feel the same way.
I hope so, man. Hey, Amarillo, I hope all of y'all are ready for this great year, 2020, and then 2021, and then 2022. And we're going to keep rolling because it's been too long. It's been 7 years, man. Like, seriously. I don't know if you've been able to go home, YouTube, type in the 2013 championship, and that'll let you get the feel of how this city could be. And Amarillo's all about winning. If you're winning, they all up on you. If you're losing, it's kind of hard. So, we're trying to get that fan base back up.
We'll change. The environment's about to change. It's going to be awesome. This season's going to be good. But everybody, thank you for tuning in. I'm Derek Urias, sitting here with Andre Hendrix. We're ready to see him be successful. Stay tuned for more video and more content like this coming soon. I appreciate you guys' support, and all I can say is stay tuned and fangs up.